Hello, Excel champs. Welcome to Power Excel, your own channel for basic Excel tips and tricks and some bit of learning. Today, we are going to talk about the text function and its uses. Some use cases all we will discuss, although there may be more, but in the interest of time, we are only going to discuss some of the use cases of the text function. So the text function, as you know, it's used to convert a numeric value into a text string in a specified format. So it's basically just used for display purposes, where you want to display some number in a different format. So we will see how the different formats can be used here, but that's the basic use of the text function. And it really does not change the underlying value itself. It just changes how the value is displayed. So let's start with what we have here is the date uh, values, where we are trying to use the date and date format, which is the most commonly used use case of the text function. So we will start with dates. I have some dates mentioned here in different formats. You can have more date formats as per your locale. You can use your preferences of using of writing the dates in a different manner. So, but it has to be a date here for this example to work. So let's try to extract some days, months, years, and some custom combinations for these as well. Starting with day, I will simply do a text, and the first parameter is the value, and the next parameter is the format text. So I will start with the value, which is in cell B5. Format text is always supposed to be written in double quotation marks. So please remember, without the double quotation marks, it may not work. So I'm trying to extract the day. So the character to use here is a D, which stands for day. And if I just use a single D, let's see what happens. It gives me a 1 because the date I have here is a first date of the month. I will simply drag it down and I will see that where the date is in double digits, the single D gives me the double digits as well. However, wherever the dates are in single digits, it just gives me a single digit. So it doesn't look consistent, right? So if I just do a double D instead of a single D, it will always give me a double digit output. And this looks more consistent when we are looking at a larger set of data. Uh, let's try another one. I will just put a triple D here, and what it gives me is the day, the three character day of this date that's mentioned here. So if I want to use the day format here, I can use 3 Ds. I will try another one. 4 Ds will give me the complete date, complete day against this date. So we have four different ways where we can extract the day. Single D gives me a single or double digit day number, as in where the case may be. Double Ds will give me the 2 digits output. 3 Ds will give me a 3 character day number, day name, and 4 Ds will give me the complete day of this date. Let's see what happens if I use another one. If I use a 5 Ds, nothing happens. If I use 6 Ds, nothing happens. So 4 Ds is the maximum that we can do here, right? Let's now do the month part, which has one very interesting thing, which is different from what we did in day, and I will show that shortly. Let's start with the basic first, which is the text, and the character to use here is an M, so which is a single M and it gives me a 10 here because the month here is October. However, if I drag it down, the months where the months are in a single digits, it has given me just the single digits here. So again, as in day, I will simply put double M's here, and what happens is it gives me a double digits month number. If I use a three M's here, it gives me the three character month, which is extracted from this date. So that's again a simple thing. If I use a 4M, I will simply get the complete month, which is displayed here against this date. Now for the interesting part, which is different from what we had in date, I can use a 5 characters, 5M here as well, and see what happens. It just gives me the first character of the month, which is used in the date. So if I had an October, I'm getting an O for against August, I'm getting an A, February, I'm getting a capital F, and for January, I'm getting a capital J. So if I have to probably denote the months by maybe acronyms, I can use this trick, which is a pretty neat trick, I would say. 5M's, right? What happens if I do a 6? I get the complete month number, month back. What if I do a 7M? It will not change anything. So 5M's is the maximum that I can do here in the month format. Okay, now let's go for the year, and I would say going for the year now, and the character to use here is the Y for year. And you see, if I use a single Y, it gives me a 24 because minimum two-digit year is displayed here. So if I just use a drag it down, you see here this year is 2002 and it still displays a 02 because it gives back a minimum of two characters, unlike the date and month where it could give me a single digit as well. So this is one basic difference that we see here. So if I have to get an output in double digits, I do not have to use a YY because YY and Y are essentially the same here. I mean, there is no difference in outputs if I use a Y or a YY. So you can use a single Y as well. Let's do a 3 character Y here, and it gives me back all 4 characters of the year. So YYY and YYYY is nothing different. So we can use a single Y or a double Y, they are same. 3 Ys or 4 Ys, they're also same. But if I do a 5Y, nothing happens. If I do a 6Y, nothing happens. So that's the maximum that you can use. But here, depending on your locale, there is another interesting thing that you can use. Instead of a YYYY, if you want an input in 4 characters, I can simply use an E, a small e, and it will also give me the same output. So you don't have to use a YYYY. You can also use simply an E as an echo, and that should give you the desired result. But again, that depends on your locale settings as well. So please do check your locale settings before you try this option out. What about the custom combination? I can use the text function to combine the values in a custom format. So what if I do a text and if I do something like this? So maybe I want a DD, right? So that's a day. Let's say I want to do an MMM, and let's say I want to do an E. So what happens? It gives me 01 October 2024 as an output, right? If I want to do a Y, just a single Y is sufficient, as I said. So it gives me a short one, right? If I do an
4 M's here, it gives me 01 October 24. So it gives me all of them. What if I want to do a DDD space DD? It gives me Tuesday 01 October. I would just say do another D here. So it gives me Tuesday 01 October 2024. I want to put in a comma after this Tuesday, and it gives me the desired output, as you can see here. So it gives me an output in a more, what you can say, a more readable uh, mode, you know. So this value, as you can see, is more readable, and it makes more sense. Just writing 24th August does not make any sense to me. Just writing 20th February doesn't make any sense to me when I'm talking of some huge data sets or some reports that we need to analyze. So uh, putting it in a more meaningful way is what I'm trying to display here. In Office 365, though, we can achieve this task in a much better way. We can use a single cell formula. We can make use of the dynamic arrays, and we can achieve this task in a better manner and much faster way. So let's see how. So I would say text. I would select everything here because this is what I want to do. We can do uh, the curly braces that are denoted as an array. So we can use these curly braces and start typing what we want to display. So I will try to produce the same output as you see here. So the output here would be D, 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 comma, then it would be just the first character of the month. So M, 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 that's 5 M's. Then I have the year, so I will simply say E. And then I have the custom combination, which is the D, 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 comma, space, D, D, hyphen, M, 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 hyphen, Y. That's a single mm, Y because I just want the last two digits of the year. So I will close these curly brackets and I will close these parentheses and hit enter, and you see the same output that you see here has been replicated here with the use of a single formula which I have put in a single cell. Right, so this is one advantage of Office 365, the dynamic arrays. Although this may also be available in Office 2021, Office 2024 now, and maybe some other versions as well where the dynamic arrays are available and supported. So whichever versions the person is using, please check if you have the features of dynamic arrays, and if yes, I think this should work. Right, so this is just one test case, one use case of the text function, although we have some more which can be seen here. There can be even more, but what we are trying to do here is trying to uh, get to know about the most common ones. Yeah, so let's see. We can convert this. We can use the text function to convert any number to a currency format. So please remember, we are not converting the number actually. We are just displaying the number in a different format. So the value remains as is. It is just the display that changes. Yep. So let's see what happens if I, let's say, make an input of 5. So what happens if I just put in a formula? So I will say text and I will say C3, which is my what you can say the input value, and I want to convert this to a currency format. So let's say I do dollar, and I will say 0.00, and that should give me the desired output in currency format, right? So this is something I would simply say. So let's say this is 255.23. It gives me the value in a desired currency format, right? Simply changing the display type to maybe a dollar. You can use a custom currency symbol as well as per your interest. Similarly for percentage, so let's say 0.65 is what my input here is, and I will simply say uh, text, and I will simply say 0.00 percentage, and this should give me a 65.00%. And let's say if I had a 4-digit output input, so let's say this way, it gives me a 65.56%, right? Let's say if I had not a zero, let's say 2.65, it gives me a 265% out, right? So this is one way of doing it by using the text format, right? Let's say the third one is to add leading zeros. So what do we mean by that? Let's say we have a number 100, and we want to probably display a 4 or a 5 character output. So we will simply say 00000, and that's it. It gives me an output that says 00100. So let's say if I have 6-digit input directly, it gives me a 6-digit output. There is no problem with that. But let's say if I have a 4-digit input, it gives me a 5-digit output, right? So that's how this works. Next is to format the numbers with commas. Again, I will use the same number as above. And if I say text, and if I say pound, comma, pound, comma, pound 0.00. So this is the sample format, and you can see it gives me a comma, and if I say maybe a higher number, it gives me the comma uh, values automatically, and it also gives me a decimal place because I gave 2 decimal places after the decimal here in my format. Displaying the numbers as fractions, so that's another very interesting thing that a text function can do. So let's say my input is 0. What do we do? What do we do? Let's say we do 0.47. So if I want to display it as a fraction, I would simply say text, and I would simply say this. So this is a wildcard, the question mark, as you can see here, and this uses the wildcard method and the wildcard functionality to display the function. So the 0.47 is almost equal to half. So let's say if I do 20, and let's say if I do 37, it gives me 20, then a space, and then the wildcards are giving me the fraction here. So that's how we can do the fractions by using the text function. Now, let's say we have some time to deal with. So let's say we have a zero point 0.5 as my input, and if I just do a text, and if I do HHMMSS, and that's it, let's say I get a 12, because that's the zero point 0.5, it indicates half day, right? So it indicates half day, and if I do a 0.05, it means 1 hour and 12 minutes. So internally, all these numbers that you see have a value that can be displayed as a time format, right? So just to let you know, if you want to divide a day into maybe, let's say, 30 minutes each, so that would be 24 hours. 30 minutes each would mean around 48 sub-intervals, as we can say. And you can simply have each one indicated by one value that's equivalent to 1 by 48. So this 1 by 48, 2 by 48, I will say 2 by 48, it's changing today. Why is it changing to date? 2 divided by 48. So this is what it is, sorry. So 2 divided by 48 is 0.41666667. It means 1 1 hour. And if I just do a AM slash PM format, it also gives you that this is AM or this is PM that we are talking about. So let's say if I do the fifth interval, it means 2 hours, 2:30 a.m. Right? So I can simply divide my day into 48 subintervals of 30 minutes each, and I can get these values here. Okay, so that's how this means. Now, next one is a custom phone number format, and the custom phone number format means that this text function can actually change or convert the given number into a phone number pattern. So let's say I have a 10-digit number. Now this is, let's say, given a phone number. I can simply do a text, and I can do hash hash hash, or maybe pound pound pound, as you may say, then space, then a pound 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 hyphen pound 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 pound. That's it, and it gives me this number converts into a meaningful way. Okay. Combining date and time is quite simple, as I have displayed here. So this is the time only, but we can combine the date also. So let's say this is what we have, 5 by 48. So equals 5 by 48. And let's say this is what we did here in terms of getting the time. Now let's combine the date as well. So equals text, this number, and I would say dd mmm y. I want a short date, and I also want hh mm ss am pm. So this is a combination of what I want, and it gives me a 0 January 00, because I haven't given any what you can say the date here. So if I had some date value here, so let's say this 0.14 is what I have. So let's say instead of 5, I had, let's say, 5005. So this gives me a fractional value here, and it gives me 6th November 2002, as you can see here. then 6:30 p.m. So internally 6 November 02, and let's see what this 02 means. Is it 1902 or 2002? So this is 1902. Okay, so this is 1902. So this 6th November 1902, 6:30 p.m. is internally uh, understood as this value by Excel. Okay. Now, the last and a very interesting one that I personally like is to convert month number to names, and it's actually quite simple and it's quite informative. And to do that, we can simply do text. Uh, so what do we have to do? We have to simply say text C11 where the value is, multiply this number by 28. I'll tell you in a while why I'm doing 28, and the resultant value I'm just trying to do an MMM. So this gives me a Feb, or maybe if I do a 4M, I'll get February. So why did I do a 28? Because every month will have a bare minimum of 28 days. February may have 28 sometimes, February may have 29 sometimes. So 28 is something that every month will have, and this will give us the desired month number because internally Excel treats the number one as the first date here. So this is how you use the values using the text format. Now I can easily I can show a very interesting what you can say a test case of using the dynamic arrays and creating a very good example for you for converting numbers to uh, names or converting a month number to a month name. So let's say we have to generate the list of all 12 months here. So what we can simply do is generate a sequence of 12. This gives me the month numbers here, as you can see here. And if I simply do multiply by 28 as I did above, so this gives me the numbers or our sequence of 12 numbers in increments of 28. Yeah. And if I simply cap this in the text function, I can simply get the text, the month numbers, the month names. So that's how you can do this task, and it's quite easy actually, and it's quite helpful, the text function, and you can use this in numerous other ways as well. I hope you know what other ways it can be used. If you have anything interesting to share, please feel free to post in comments. And if you have any suggestions, of course, you can mention those in the comments as well. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit like. And if you like this video, if you like the content, please do subscribe the channel, hit the bell icon to get the notifications of the new videos. So thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope this is informative and will be